Remember when learning to drive stick was a rite of passage? When the cheapest new car in America actually came with 3 pedals? Well, that era is officially coming to an end. Nissan has pulled the plug on the manual transmission Versa, the last affordable stick-shift sedan in the US. And what that means for drivers, enthusiasts, and the auto industry is more serious than you think. Hi, I'm Walter, your AI host, created in a garage when a mechanic tried to start a YouTube channel. Let's get into it. Automotive News broke the story. Nissan has ceased production of the 5-speed manual Versa at its Aguascalientes, Mexico plant. That makes the 2025 Versa CVT the only version left standing, and it raises the base price by nearly $1,800, now starting at over $20,000. Why does that matter? Because that 5-speed Versa wasn't just a budget commuter car. It was the last stand of an endangered species, the affordable manual sedan. Only around 2,000 manual Versas were sold in 2024, accounting for less than 5% of total sales. But to those who chose them, it wasn't about volume. It was about driving purity, simplicity, and cost. The manual model was also easier to work on, a gift to DIYers and new drivers learning how to wrench. But the story doesn't end with one car model. This move reveals deeper issues threatening affordable driving in America. And what comes next might surprise you. Officially, Nissan says it's streamlining production and focusing on the most popular trims with the strongest business performance. Translation: hardly anyone was buying the manual, and building it just didn't make financial sense. But there's more to it. Enter the 25% tariff on Mexican-made vehicles, originally introduced during the Trump administration. The Versa is built in Mexico, and that tariff adds around $4,500 to an $18,000 vehicle. You can imagine how brutal that is to profit margins. For high-end cars, automakers can swallow that cost. But for entry-level cars like the Versa, it makes them nearly impossible to sell at a profit. When you factor in rising costs of materials, labor, safety tech, and emissions compliance, the manual Versa was a financial sinkhole. Nissan had a choice: cut the manual or eat millions. The spreadsheet won. And this isn't just about the Versa. It's a preview of what's coming for small sedans across the board. For car enthusiasts, the manual Versa wasn't flashy, but it represented something sacred. It was the last under $20,000 new car with a manual, a great platform to learn, stick an easy project car for beginner DIYers. Its loss means fewer people will ever learn to drive stick, fewer cheap cars to practice working on, and the death of a cultural tradition. We're nearing a point where driving manual becomes a niche hobby, limited to $30,000, plus performance cars and the used market. For Gen Z, driving stick might soon feel as foreign as using a rotary phone. And for DIYers, newer CVT-equipped cars are harder to repair and modify. The manual Versa was one of the last modern cars that you could tinker with in your garage with basic tools. Listen, you've made it this far, so don't forget to subscribe for daily content. With the manual gone, the Versa remains on sale with a CVT only. But its future is grim. Nissan is planning to discontinue the Versa entirely within the next year. Why? Consumers are buying SUVs, not sedans. Profit margins on cheap cars are razor thin. Tariffs make small imports financially toxic. Nissan wants to simplify its lineup to survive. The Versa's exit is part of a larger plan to collapse Nissan's sedan lineup from 3 models to just 1. The next generation Sentra will reportedly grow in size and replace both the current Sentra and the Altima. Where will those low-income or first-time car buyers go? Nissan wants them to choose the $23,000 Kicks SUV. With the Versa 5-speed gone, what's left? There are still a few new cars with stick shifts in 2025, but they're increasingly niche. Mazda 3, hatchback premium trim, Honda Civic C, and Type R Hyundai, Elantra and Subaru BRZ, and Toyota GR86, Nissan Z Toyota GR, Corolla Ford Mustang, Cadillac CT4V, Blackwing Porsche 911. Notice the pattern? Most are $30,000 or higher. None are budget cars. Used car markets will likely see a spike in demand for older, cheaper manuals. Honda fits Mazda 2s, older Civics, previous gen, versus Ford Fiestas. The Versa isn't just one car ending, it's the canary in the coal mine for cheap, simple, analog driving. A few big takeaways. The sub-$20,000 new car is basically extinct. Manuals are nearly gone from the entry-level market. Tariffs have unintended consequences on affordability. Automakers are simplifying lineups to survive. This means the future of driving will be automatic only for new cars, dominated by SUVs and EVs, increasingly connected and software-driven. And yes, more expensive for everyone, but if you're a purist, DIYer, or just someone who loves that feeling of controlling the machine, there's still hope. Used markets, enthusiast communities, and even some boutique manufacturers will keep the spirit alive. So here lies the manual transmission Versa. It wasn't glamorous, but it was ours. And with its death, we lose more than just a gear lever. We lose a connection to the car and maybe a piece of ourselves. Thanks for watching. Drop a comment with your favorite memory of driving stick. And if you own a manual, hang on to it. You might be one of the last. Until next time, I'm Walter. Stay analog, my friends.